becomes evident that greatness is something far deeper, richer, and more elusive. Let's begin with speed, a metric that often dazzles audiences and definitely grabs headlines. Watching a guitarist shred at breakneck pace can be mesmerizing, a technical marvel that seems almost superhuman. And indeed, speed requires incredible discipline, hours of practice, and an intimate understanding of technique. Guitarists like Yngwie Malmsteen and Paul Gilbert have built careers around their jaw-dropping ability to play impossibly fast runs with precision. But speed alone doesn't make a guitarist great. Why is that? Because music is more than a series of rapid notes. It's really a language, a form of storytelling, and above all else, an emotional experience. Take a guitarist like David Gilmour, whose playing is pretty much the polar opposite of the shredder's approach. Gilmour, while fast, isn't known for blistering speed, but his solos are revered as some of the greatest in rock history. Why? Because every note he plays is imbued with emotion. He chooses his notes with the precision of a poet selecting words, creating a narrative that resonates deeply with the listener. His bends, his phrasing, his use of space and silence. These are the tools he uses to craft moments that linger in the soul long after that last note fades. Speed may impress, but it's soulfulness that connects. Similarly, technical perfection, though absolutely admirable, nothing against that, it's not the sole ingredient of greatness. The ability to execute a piece of music flawlessly is absolutely an impressive skill. Classical guitarists, for instance, often exhibit a level of technical mastery that seems untouchable. But even in the realm of classical music, it is the guitarist who can transcend the notes on the page and infuse them with humanity, who is celebrated as truly exceptional. Andre Segovia, considered the father of modern classical guitar, didn't become legendary simply because he played flawlessly, which he absolutely did, but it was the way he communicated through his instrument, the way he gave life to compositions that really set him apart. What separates the truly exceptional guitarists from those who are merely good is their ability to transcend technique and connect on an emotional and creative level. It's the ability to make the guitar an extension of themselves, underscores the power of space, timing, and phrasing. King's playing wasn't about dazzling speed or intricate runs. It was about making every single note count. King could wring more emotion out of a single bend or vibrato than some guitarists could do out of an entire solo. This ability to distill music down to its essence, to say so much with so little, is a hallmark of greatness. Another crucial element is individuality. Many of the greatest guitarists are instantly recognizable, even to the untrained ear. Their tone, phrasing, and approach to the instrument are so distinctive that they become their musical fingerprint. Consider the raw, biting tone of Keith Richards, the lyrical, almost vocal quality of Eric Clapton solos, or the complex, multi-layered arrangements of Jimmy Page. These players carved out a voice that was uniquely their own, setting them apart from the crowd. And there's also the question of influence. A great guitarist doesn't exist in a vacuum. They shape the landscape of music and inspire others to pick up the instrument. Eddie Van Halen, R.I.P., revolutionized guitar playing with his innovative tapping techniques and imaginative use of harmonics. He didn't just play the guitar. He redefined what was possible on the instrument, leaving an indelible mark on generations of players. To truly appreciate why certain guitarists are considered among the greatest of all time, one needs to look beyond the surface, beyond speed, technical perfection, or even fame. Greatness is found in those intangible qualities that elevate music from a craft to an art. It's in the ability to tell a story, to evoke emotion, and to leave an imprint on the hearts and minds of listeners. It's in the courage to take risks, to innovate, and to play with authenticity and passion. It's, above all, in the ability to connect deeply, profoundly, and universally with those who hear the music. As we reflect on the guitarists who have achieved this rarefied status, let's not measure them merely by the speed of their fingers or the flawlessness of their technique. Let's celebrate their artistry, their creativity, and their humanity. It's these qualities that take a guitarist from good to great. Now, as we continue to explore what elevates certain guitarists to the status of legend, it's essential to discuss the broader context Instead, he creates sonic landscapes that elevate the band's songs to something ethereal. His genius lies in understanding that the guitar can be a tool not just for melody, but for evoking a sense of place and emotion. Another hallmark of greatness is adaptability. Guitarists who endure as legends often possess the ability to evolve, to reinvent themselves as the musical landscape changes. Jeff Beck is a spine.